Getting shit done. One of the biggest challenges I see business owners facing is being the busiest person in their business. They're first into the office, primarily so they can get ahead of the game. They're often the last out of the office and maybe go home considerably later than when all the staff have gone home so they can finish off what they set out to do in the day. They are the default for problems, for clients, for sales, for marketing. You know, if you're a business owner, you get the idea. The list goes on and on and on. So how do you get beyond that? Well, there is this whole cliche, isn't there? You know, we've got to start to focus on the business rather than working in it. And whilst it's a bit of a cliche saying in business, it stood the test of time and it actually does what it says on the tin. If you're the busiest person right now, you're working in the business. Stop it. But how? So here's I guess a strategy that you can implement. And it is a strategy because it allows you to start focusing on the business. And they are OKRs, objectives and key results. Objectives and key results. So what is an objective and key result? Well, an objective is kind of like it's a goal of where you want to get to, what it is that you want to achieve over a set period of time. So for instance, I do our quarterly planning, and every time I do quarterly planning for the quarter, there is an objective for the business. What is it that the business is going to achieve in that quarter in terms of growth, scalability, in terms of expansion, in terms of sales, marketing, but we put it succinctly as an objective. And then what we do is we identify what the key metrics are that will measure the success and the momentum of achieving that goal. Now, here's the interesting point. The metric has to be something empirically evidence-based. Sounds highfalutin. What does it actually mean? You can friggin' measure it. It means that if it's a lead generation or lead generation is part of it, it means that you can actually count the leads and you know if the leads are coming through and your conversion rate is such and such, you know you're going to convert. So you know you're on track to complete the objective. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So setting an objective and putting in key results at your level will allow your team to do the same. So you sit down in a planning meeting with your team, you say, this is my objective, and then you can go around the team and the responsibilities. Now, regardless whether you've got loads of departments or you've just got team members, your team members will have responsibilities. Could be somebody on the tools, and their objective is actually to actually complete a job in a swifter time with less remedials and less problems and less waste. Suddenly you've got 3 or 4 metrics that you can measure. Time on job, metric in terms of how much waste, and actually how many remedials came from that job. And it means that then the individual, if they're the right individual in the business, will have a real focus on the quality of work that they're doing, but then the efficiencies with the way they're applying themselves. So when you start to look at objectives, you can put them across the business, all based on what your overarching objective is as a business owner. So if you're really clear in terms of what it is that you want to achieve in a set period of time, and 90 days is a great place to start, by the way. 90-day planning is something that is incredibly powerful for a business because it's a period of time that is just enough to get a real focus in terms of actually momentum and moving the business forward. And then when you've got 13 weeks worth of activities that are structured, you then can see on a 13-week basis what those measurements look like and how well you're progressing towards where you want to get to. So, stop being the busiest fool in your business. Stop owning a job and start to own a business. Take the first step of actually sitting down and asking yourself, where do I want to be 90 days from now? And hey, if you want some support on that, then drop us a DM. I'm always happy to help people in terms of actually what that might look like. And if you keep an eye out on my website, there are webinars that I run specifically around these type of areas, which will give you lots of insight, tools, tactics, and indeed the bigger strategies. Go and make an objective. Once you have, share it. Drop it into the chat. Let's see how you're getting on. But really make an effort. Stop being a busy fool. Have a fantastic day. Thanks a lot.